If a business partner forgoes fiduciary duties in the company, owes money, and left you, what can be done? Oh, it happens all too often, unfortunately, yes, and it's a real problem. So the best thing to do, and the only thing you can really do, but I know it seems a little bit futile, but I still recommend that you go through the motions, is basically file a court case, right? You file a court case against a business partner for breach of trust, embezzlement, breach of fiduciary duty, what have you, whatever the financial crimes. Well, the person most likely will, since you said the person left the country, will not appear, but the case will go forward, right? So, and ultimately you end up with a judgment, and obviously the court will not just blindly issue a judgment, but if you submit documents showing that the person left, ran away, and abused their power and authority, and ultimately embezzled the money, then you will have a judgment in your favor. And then with that judgment, then you will be able to apply for an enforcement case. As part of the enforcement case, what you do is you have, first of all, you can chase the assets if that person still has assets in the UAE. And sometimes you'd be surprised, they might still have assets in the UAE. Or you would ask for a travel ban. And I tell you from experience, and I've been here all too long, it's a lot of people leave the country at some point in time because they just run away from their obligations. And they think this is it, hasta la vista, we're not coming back again. You fast forward a few years, it's just the UAE is one of those places, it's hard to leave. And a lot of people actually want to come back. So if you have a travel ban, there's a chance that that person would eventually will want to come back to Dubai or to the UAE. And in that case, when there's a travel ban, they will be arrested at the airport and they will not be able to leave the country until they pay off that debt. So I know it may feel like it's kind of sort of a hopeless pursuit, but I will tell you from experience, we've had a number of these kinds of cases where years later, 10 years later, the person finally comes back into the country and they're like, oh, okay. Oh, or for example, they might even just be flying through the country, through the Dubai airport or Abu Dhabi airport, and they'll also be arrested, even if they don't really want to leave the airport. So they may also be arrested. So we have seen, so don't be dissuaded by not pursuing it just because you think he or she may not have the assets here. I think the leverage is better to have a court case. The leverage is still there. One and two, depending on where the person ends up, you can also use that judgment. It's a foreign judgment, becomes a foreign judgment, and try to enforce that foreign judgment wherever it is that the former partner of yours ended up.